Welcome to the conference.
Welcome and thank you for standing by. At this time, all participants are in a listen-only mode throughout the duration of today's conference. As a reminder, today's call is being recorded. If you have any objections, you may disconnect at this time. Now I'd like to turn over the conference to Tommy Wright. Thank you. You may begin.
Tommy Wright. Thank you very much. Please note that I said my name before speaking, and I'm asking that everyone do the same. Good afternoon, and welcome to our virtual public meeting of the Census Bureau Scientific Advisory Committee. We're convening this meeting today to allow members of the committee to continue presenting recommendations from the CSAC Fall Virtual Meeting, which took place on September the 17th and 18th, 2020. CSAC members and members of the public, we're happy to have you join us, and we look forward to a productive, brief session today. We're especially grateful, and we really mean this, to the CSAC members for taking the time to be here today in what are truly trying times. Your continued advice is greatly appreciated. My name is Tommy Wright. I am the designated federal officer for the Census Scientific Advisory Committee. As such, I am required to preside over the advisory committee meeting as specified by the Federal Advisory Committee Act. Though he's not going to make comments, I want to acknowledge that the Deputy Director, Ron Jarman, is with us today listening. The proceedings are being displayed at the web link found on the CSAC website, and the number for audio is also displayed on the meeting page. Both the link and the conference line can also be found on the Federal Register notice. Members, we ask that you keep your lines muted during this call unless you are called upon to speak. To help facilitate discussion, members' lines will be kept open to allow more efficient discussion, so we must keep background noise to a minimum. Please note, personal video will not be available during this session. Members, if you would like to comment, please click the raise hand icon found on the lower right-hand corner. Allison will see your virtual hand raised and will call on you in turn. Because this meeting is being recorded for transcripts, again, we ask that you clearly state your name for the record before each time you speak. Allison will also be responsible for facilitating today's meeting. The public will have an opportunity to comment right after the remarks from the chair, or more accurately, right at 1:20. During that time, we will welcome members from the public to provide their name, organization, and public comments using the chat feature. I, as a designated federal officer, will read the public comments during that period. The Federal Register notice located on the CSAC website provides more information on submitting written comments. All meeting materials and written public comments are posted on the Census Advisory Committee website for public viewing. The final recommendations will be posted on the CSAC Advisory Committee website for public viewing after approval. Members, again, if you would like to make a comment, please click the button on the meeting site at the lower right-hand corner. Once you click this button, Allison will see your virtual hand raised and will call on you in turn. I will now turn the meeting over to the CSAC Chair, Allison Plyer, who will bring chair remarks. Allison?
This is Allison Plyer. Thank you, Tommy. Good afternoon and welcome, everyone. As Tommy said, this meeting is a follow-up to the September 2020 CSAC meeting when we didn't have quite enough time to finish up our recommendations. So that's what we'll do today. And I also want to thank the CSAC members for their really important contributions of time and expertise to the important work of the Census Bureau. Thank you so much. Yesterday was Veterans Day, and I just want to start by thanking all the veterans who've served our country. I'm particularly grateful to my own father, who was a gunner on the USS Hornet in World War II, so thank you, veterans. To get us started, let's go around the horn and introduce all the CSAC members. Please say your name and your organization or institution and where you're dialing in from, and I'll go first to model and then call on you one at a time. And I know Tony is going to be taking roll this way, so let's make sure everybody gets captured. I'm Allison Plyer, Chief Demographer of the Data Center in New Orleans. I'm calling in from New Orleans. I'm back here having evacuated for 2 months to avoid multiple hurricanes, and I'm grateful that a Hurricane Ada is not hitting New Orleans today. That would have made this more difficult for me, but I do see bands of it hitting North Carolina. I'm thinking about those folks. Okay, let's move to Deborah.
Hi, all. I'm Deborah Balk. I am the director of the CUNY Institute for Demographic Research at the City University of New York, and I am phoning in from New York.
Great. Thank you, Deborah. Jay.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jay Bright. I'm professor of statistics at Colorado State University, and I'm calling in from Fort Collins, Colorado.
Excellent. John Chaika.
Good afternoon. I'm John Chaika. I'm a senior fellow at Mathematica Policy Research in Washington, D.C., and I'm calling in from Bethesda, Maryland.
Great, thanks. Lou Fisher, can you hear us?
Hello, I'm Lou Fisher. I'm an attorney in private practice, and I'm calling in from Salem, Oregon.
Excellent. Thank you, Lou. And Lou, I know you're not on WebEx, so if you at some point want to speak, just speak right up, and we'll hear you.
I will do. Thank you.
Okay, great. Juan Pablo.
Hello, I'm Juan Pablo Urcad. I'm an associate professor in the Department of Computer Science at the University of Iowa, and today I'm calling from Iowa City, Iowa.
Excellent, thank you. Jeff Lauer. Jeff, I can see you're on WebEx, but I can't tell if you're on audio, so we'll come back to you, Jeff. Hopefully you are able to participate. Mario. Can you hear us, Mario? I can see you're on WebEx. Oh, Jeff raised his hand. Let's go back to Jeff. Are you there, Jeff? Okay, we'll come back to you guys. Jessica.
Hi, everyone. Calling from San Francisco. My name is Jessica McKellar. I am a computer scientist by training and a small business owner / tech startup founder that eagerly completes any and all surveys that the Census Bureau sends us. So thank you for that.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay, Chris Moore. Are you there, Chris? Are you on mute?
Do you want me to open all the participants' lines?
No. What we could do is we could identify the specific people Allison's calling on and have them press *0 so that you can grab their line and unmute that specific line.
Okay.
Does that work for you, Angela?
Yes.
Okay. I think, I see. The people who aren't able to speak are the folks who maybe didn't sign in as CSAC. So
correct.
That makes sense. Okay, so Chris Moore is someone we want unmuted.
Her line is open.
Chris, can you introduce yourself?
Hey, Allison, this is Jeff Lauer. I don't know if you can hear me now.
Oh, yes. Go ahead, Jeff. Why don't you introduce yourself? Thank you.
Hey, thanks. Yeah, I think I was muted, but I'm unmuted now. But good afternoon, everybody. My name is Jeff Lauer. I'm with a company called Quantum Spatial, and my expertise is in remote sensing and geospatial data.
Excellent. Where are you calling in from?
Oh, calling in from Huntsville, Alabama.
Excellent. Jeff, if you have a chance to just log out of WebEx and log back in with CSAC-CM before your name, Jeff, then I'll see you more easily on the participant list.
Okay, great. Yeah, I'll do that right now.
Thank you so much. And you can stay on the audio. Okay, cool. And then I wonder if Mario's line is open. Mario Marazzi, is his line open?
Please press *0 and I will open your line.
Yeah. You hear that, Mario? If you press *0, it'll open you up. I'm sure we'll get back to that. And Chris Moore, your line is open. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Okay, this is third time. Can you hear me now?
Yep, we can hear you.
Oh, hi. This is Chris Moore, a senior scholar at Friends here in Washington, D.C. area, and I'm Washington, D.C.
Fantastic. Chris, if you wouldn't mind also just, you can stay on audio, but log out of WebEx and then log back in and put CSAC CM before Chris, and then we'll see you on the list. That will help. Okay, Kathy Pettit.
Hi, this is Kathy Pettit. I'm with the Urban Institute and the National Neighborhood Indicators Partnership, and I'm calling in from Washington, D.C.
Fantastic. Okay, I don't think Krishna is here. I don't see him logged into WebEx, so I'm going to guess he's not, so that's okay. Andrew Samwick. Andrew, are you on mute? If you're on mute, Andrew, hit *0 so you can get unmuted.
Your line is open.
Hi, this is Andrew Samwick. I'm a professor of economics at Dartmouth College, and I'm calling in from Norwich, Vermont.
Excellent. Okay, Kunal.
Hi, this is Kunal Talwar. I'm a research scientist at Apple working in differential privacy and machine learning, and I'm calling in from the San Francisco Bay Area.
Excellent. Rochelle.
Hello, everyone. This is Rochelle Winkler. I'm a professor of sociology and demography at Michigan Technological University, and I'm calling in today from Houghton, Michigan in the Upper Peninsula.
Fantastic. Thanks, Rochelle. And then I don't see Joe Whitley, but he might be on the phone. Joe, are you here? Sounds like not. Let's see who I missed earlier on. I missed Mario. Mario, are you?
Hi, Allison. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Yay.
Wonderful. Good afternoon. This is Mario Marazzi, former director of Puerto Rico Institute of Statistics. I'm interested in all things official statistical methodologies, and I'm calling in from beautiful San Juan, Puerto Rico today.
Very good. Awesome. I think that is everybody, Tony. So that's fantastic. And operator, if you can leave all their lines open so that folks can chime in as necessary. So great. Thank you so much. Bill Clark. Let's have Bill introduce himself.
Hi, everybody. I'm Bill Clark. I am a political scientist by training. I am currently Associate Dean of the Graduate School at Penn State, and I am calling in from State College, PA.
Fantastic. Thank you, Bill. So, Bill, because Bill wasn't yet a member of CSAC at the time of our September meeting, he's participating today as an observer only and won't have a voting role. But, Bill, we're really glad to have you with us, and we look forward to your contributions to CSAC discussions in March when we can convene again.
Thanks, Allison. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, good. Fantastic. Cool. Well, so I know we have a few minutes before public comment, and I just wanted to start with a word of appreciation for the amazing staff and leadership of the Census Bureau. You all have been through the ringer, whether it's, the hurricanes or the wildfires or the pandemic writ large or just all the shifting timelines you've had to adapt to. This decennial census has surely been more difficult than your wildest dreams. And the worst isn't over because, as we understand it, the Bureau staff are working 7 days a week to try to meet the end of the year deadline for delivering the first 2020 census results under an extremely truncated timeline. And to be sure, CSAC has some concerns about this timeline. But before we get into all that, I just want to thank all the Census Bureau staff and leadership for their incredible hard work. Census staff are no doubt sacrificing time with their families, sacrificing sleep, sacrificing their sanity even to try to meet an extremely ambitious deadline. And I want you to know that your incredible hard work has not gone unnoticed. So CSAC members, please unmute your lines and join me in a loud round of applause for the Census Bureau staff and leadership for all their hard work. Thank you all so much. Really, thank you, Census. So today our agenda is primarily just to present our final recommendations that were tabled from September. And what you'll hear today is, the CSAC continues to be very concerned about the truncated timeline for door-to-door follow-up, as well as the extremely truncated timeline for post-data collection processing, which is critical for catching errors, eliminating duplicates, and ensuring everyone living in group quarters is counted also. And, the evidence is available to us suggests that the truncated timeline will yield data that is not of the same quality as previous decennials. And so our recommendation, in alignment with the American Statistical Association, is that the Bureau make available substantial and detailed quality metrics that will help the public to understand exactly what the strengths and weaknesses of the 2020 census products are. I'll present those recommendations right after public comments. And I want to underscore that this decennial, we need radical transparency from the Census Bureau. Transparency is really critical at this point to ensure Americans' trust in the 2020 census and the Census Bureau as a whole. Without transparency and the trust that it engenders, the Bureau risks even greater declines in response rates across its many surveys going forward. And so this is a critical moment in the Bureau's history where it can really combat the disinformation and rumors that are circulating by opening up and divulging what worked as well as what didn't in the enormous operation that suffered so much upheaval. And let's face it, we all know it didn't go perfectly smoothly. So the sooner we know where the weaknesses lie, the sooner we can all stop speculating. So I'm going to move on to the recommendations. And Tommy, should we spend 2 minutes looking at the recommendations before public comment? Yeah. Okay. Okay. So Helen, if you could display the first page. And while she's doing that, CSAC members, you might want to, if you're using the version I emailed you this morning, you might want to, just in Word, just accept all the changes, and so that the pagination of the document you have will match the pagination of the document that Helen is displaying. Get what I'm saying? Make it a little easier to follow along page by page. So just consider accepting all those changes and deleting any comments, and you'll have the same thing that Helen's looking at. Okay, so there's page 1, which starts, of course, with commending the Census Bureau on their incredible efforts and ultimately reaching 99.98% of all residential addresses. Everybody good with this? I'll be looking for you all to raise your hand if you have any edits you want to make. Otherwise, we're going to assume it's all good. Everybody's seen this, so it shouldn't be a problem. I don't see any hands raised. So, and I make sure everybody got into the right place, which is include. Oh, good. All my CSAC members are signed in correctly. Very good. Okay. I think it's time for public comment, isn't it, Tommy?
Tommy Wright. Yes, it is, Allison. Tommy Wright. It is now time for public comment. During this virtual meeting, we take public comments by way of the chat feature. Comments are limited to 2 minutes. Anything over that may be submitted in writing for the record. When submitting your comment by way of the chat, please include your name and affiliation with your comment. We have received one written comment, which is now posted on the CSAC meeting webpage, and I will give a little overview of what's in that. Take a second or two. It is from Deborah Stein, who's with the network, who's the network director of the Partnership of America's Children. The organization commends the Census Bureau for taking significant steps to improve the count of young children in the 2020 census. It commends the Bureau for its continued work on demographic analysis to assess a measure of quality of the 2020 census. It expresses some concern about the problem of correlation bias in the PS estimates from the post-enumeration survey, that is, and it makes mention relative to privacy. It notes that the Bureau is changing its methodology for privacy this time. It is worried about differential privacy based on some publicly released demonstration products, and it's expressing concern about, for small groups, how what was observed might affect funding for various education programs that mainly affect children. I will not go through the details of that document. It's on the Census Bureau's website, but I've attempted to highlight the spirit of what's there. Are there any other comments from the public? Any other comments?
Hi, Tommy. This is Shauna Banks from the Census Bureau. We'll just give a few moments in case people are typing.
Okay. Thank you, Shauna. While we're waiting for that, anyone who might be typing, I want to, on behalf of all of my colleagues at the Census Bureau, thank the committee for that rousing round of applause. Thank you very much.
This is Shauna Banks from the Census Bureau. Adlin Wilcox, I see that you have your hand raised. Are you able to type your comment into the chat feature? Choose panelist in your drop down in the chat feature.
I think if someone's having some difficulty, perhaps we should...
Oh, there it is.
Oh, okay. This is from Adlin Wilcox to all panelists. The non-response follow-up rate for Louisiana looks padded. I will submit line plots this afternoon. So something is coming in concerning Louisiana and some of the non-response rates. Is there anything else that you see, Shauna?
Shauna Banks, I do not.
Okay. That will end the public comment for now. Allison, it's back to you.
Fantastic. Yeah, Helen, if you could show the document again. There we go. Excellent. Great. Well, Ms. Wilcox, you'll see we had some similar concerns, so we'll look forward to your line plots. So we talk about some of our concerns here at the bottom of the first page, mentioning rural communities in particular that had lower self-response rates and therefore needed more NERFU. And then the second bullet, I'll kind of summarize this. Obviously lots of areas were affected by wildfires and hurricanes, notably on October 10th, and you can scroll to the next page, Helen. Only one state, Louisiana, that had been struck by multiple hurricanes during NERFU had not reached the Bureau's state-level completion goal of 99%. And if you wanted to scroll down a little bit so people can see the chart there, thanks, Helen, that's perfect. Just stop there. And actually roll up just a little bit so they can see the chart and some of the text above. I'm sorry, you're scrolling too far down. Please scroll back up. Thanks. Up. A little more up. I'll read it anyway. So when as of October 15th, Louisiana had reached only 98.5% enumerated. Then as of October 16th, after the October 15th NERFU cutoff, the Bureau reported that Louisiana suddenly reached 99% enumeration. You can see that green line, everyone, where NERFU had cut off, and then boop, suddenly Louisiana hit the 99% goal. And when asked about this at the October 21st news briefing, the Associate Director explained that the jump was because they filled in high-quality administrative data. But we understand the normal procedure is to attempt one or more visits, then put in high-quality data, administrative data, and if no high-quality data existed, then go back for additional visits or seek out a proxy. So filling in on October 16th with administrative data suggests that there may have been no high-quality administrative data. So CSAC is concerned that these final addresses in Louisiana instead were completed with lower-quality administrative data. So Ms. Wilcox will be interested to see what you supply as well in that regard. CSAC members, anything about these first two pages before I move along? I'm looking for raised hands, which I don't see any. So feel free to raise your hand at any time if you have a concern or an edit. But everybody's seen these, so we should be in good shape. So let's go ahead and scroll down. Given our concerns, we recommend that the Bureau publish a set of measures, right? And we're really highlighting what the American Statistical Association put forward. We want to note that if those measures require differential privacy, we recommend the Bureau consult with professional associations about how to balance the need for quality information to determine fitness of use, and also we want to keep the privacy budget reserved mostly for the data products. So we don't want to leak a lot of privacy with these metrics. We echo a number of the metrics that ASA puts forward. And then we move on to post-data collection processing. So you can, there we go, just leave it at this paragraph for a second, Helen. So as I mentioned, the time frame is really truncated for this. We're not aware of any plan that the Bureau has published for how to do this in 2.5 months. And we understand the Bureau has implemented a 7-day-a-week work schedule to meet the timeline, but I mean, there's evidence that after 50 hours a week, worker productivity declines. Also, accuracy is likely to decrease under such sustained pressure. And then plus we know that critical reviews of group quarters were eliminated. So we're very concerned that the quality of the data may be impacted significantly by this time crunch. So that's what page 3 says. Again, I'm looking to see if any CSAC members have raised their hands, and they haven't, so it looks like we're good. So go ahead and scroll down, Helen. So CSAC continues to recommend that the Census Bureau have the full 6 months it requested in April 2020 to execute its full battery of data checks, to reduce the risk of failing to identify key errors, and to generate final 2020 census products that are of comparable quality to previous decennials. In addition, in alignment with the ASA recommendations, we're recommending that the Bureau release a number of metrics about post-data collection processing. So we've outlined those there. And we recommend in the paragraph just below the bullets that they be released before the release of the first 2020 census data products, which would be state population counts and apportionment numbers. And to accommodate this, really the full 6 months for data collection would be ideal. And then we provide, again, echoing the ASA, some more metrics that would help in terms of assessing the quality of the redistricting data. We point out that partnering with outside researchers is a great idea because obviously the internal resources are strapped. And so we recommend that the Bureau reach out right away to the American Statistical Association, Population Association America, and the National Academies of Science to quickly recommend a small number of researchers to be provided access to these kind of metrics. And this will help because the staff obviously is already quite overwhelmed internally at the Census Bureau. Okay, so let's see if any hands raised. I don't see any hands raised, so it looks pretty good. You can keep scrolling, Helen. I won't go into detail here. We're giving some alternative measures that might be useful to release that won't take up much of the privacy budget. And then the next big paragraph talks about the demographic analysis and making sure that gets out. And also some important caveats on that. You know, even if the national numbers come in close to the demographic analysis, that does not tell us that everyone was counted only once and in the right place. And we really recommend that the Census Bureau is transparent about the limitations of what one can conclude from the demographic analysis when you release it in December. And then I'll just point out the last sentence in this paragraph. We echoed the recommendation. We appreciate the Partnership for America's Children and the public comment they submitted, and we echo their recommendation about the Bureau producing a report based on the demographic analysis, which they didn't do in 2010. Okay, any hands up from CSAC members? I don't see any, so we're looking good. Okay, so Helen, you can scroll to the next page. The first full paragraph there, I'll just mention in terms of timing, you know, we emphasize that these kind of analyses, like the demographic analysis and others, should be, you know, released on the same day as the release of the first 2020 census data products, if not before. And we, in particular, want to recommend that consistent with Census Bureau practices since 1950, CSAC recommends that the Bureau announce the total population counts of each state in a press briefing at the National Press Club, as you've done since 1950, while also announcing the apportionment numbers and then on the same day transmitting those to the President. This is a long-standing norm, and we think it's really appropriate in terms of the kind of transparency we think that will be important for, you know, increasing American people's confidence in the 2020 census data and all of the census surveys and the Bureau itself. So the next paragraph talks about, you know, we see in the data that the share of Americans who doubt the 2020 census results are accurate grew. So there's increasing doubt. And, you know, transparency, you know, there's evidence. I know that this is countered. A lot of communications experts learn. They learn to kind of like gloss it all over. That's what they taught me in business school. But there's actually good business evidence that shows that transparency builds credibility and loyalty in customers, and that, you know, really exposing sort of warts and all, the challenges of the work that you all have been doing and the limitations is going to build credibility. And so we recommend you avoid the temptation to kind of gloss it all over and instead really be transparent about what went wrong, what isn't perfect in this data. And we commend the Bureau for the Deputy Director's log of November 5th, which really provided transparency around national metrics, as well as a lot of questions that still are not answered. So I'll pause there before we move on to post-enumeration survey methods and see if any CSAC members have any raised hands. I don't see any, so I think we are in good shape. Okay, post-enumeration survey. We can just scroll quickly. Go ahead, that's good. Helen, you can scroll to the next page. This is an important topic. I'm not going to delve into it because I suspect the audience is not as ensconced in all this as the folks in the CSAC are, or the Census Bureau committee, the Census Bureau staff. But there's a number of good thoughts and recommendations here about the challenges to the post-enumeration survey, which we'll be submitting. You can scroll down a little bit more, Helen. And obviously the CSAC would like an update on the post-enumeration survey at our next meeting, so we can see better what happened. We found it difficult to find good information about the methodology, and definitely would like more information at our March meeting. And I'm looking to see if any CSAC members have raised their hands to offer any edits, but I think we're in good shape. I don't see any. So you can scroll to page 8, Helen. And so we want to know the schedule for completing the post-enumeration survey. We haven't seen that yet. And we'll look forward to the release of the results in 2022. Then we go on to the pulse surveys, where, you know, I had a lot to say about disasters and how data is important. And I hope that some of this input is helpful to the Bureau, as we really appreciate the Bureau having done what the Bureau can do uniquely, which is provide good data, especially survey-based data, and doing it so quickly when COVID hit. So it was a fantastic effort, and and we provide just some additional thoughts and guidance for going forward. So you can scroll down some more, Helen. And CSAC members, I don't see any hands raised, so I think we're good. All right, so now we're on page 9. And we have, again, more suggestions about the pulse, how to create a question bank in advance. You could scroll down a bit more. Helen, you could, we're pointing out the Bureau could do a top sprint, an opportunity project sprint to engage diverse stakeholders. We talk about some analyses that the Bureau could do, which would be helpful to really understand what they were finding in the pulse survey, and also how it relates to other surveys and data sources. So you can scroll down some more, Helen. Excellent. Yeah, page 10. That's good. Might think about moving to a monthly cadence. You know, and that could change over time, y'all, because like things that aren't changing as quickly now, and then who knows, new policies could make some things change more quickly, but for now, monthly might be just fine. And it's great that you guys are going into phase 3 with that. Yay. Let's see. Yep, we just provide some recommendations about some analyses you could do to other data sources, and again, point out that this is really the particular competitive advantage that the Bureau has to be able to provide these kind of surveys, and thank you for doing that. Okay, then if you scroll just a little bit more, we're at the end of pulse surveys. And then construction modernization, we just said that, you know, this is an awesome effort, really uses some great new techniques, and over time the working group will be able to provide more input. So you can scroll down a little bit more there, Helen. One thing we pointed out is that all 4 members of this working group are rolling off after in the spring. So we might need to look for some more folks who could participate in this one. So you can scroll down a tiny. I think that's the end of that. Yeah. Right. Okay. Let's see if anybody had anything on construction modernization. Do I see any hands raised? I do not. Okay. Make sure I'm not missing anybody. Okay. Good. So excellent. So now we go on to CVAP. This was, we appreciated so much the technical paper that came out, and also, you know, the information that the Census Bureau provided on this. We have a number of reflections and recommendations. Again, this is pretty detailed stuff, but in general, you know, there's still sort of a lot of questions, and you know, there's some concern about the 9% of cases that really couldn't be matched via the business rules, and and, you know, there's a couple different ways to try to address that. We're recommending looking at sort of the ACS self-reported model, but now this is, let me get to this paragraph that starts with importantly. If you can show that whole paragraph, it might be worth just pausing here for a second. So Kunal sent me, right there, stop. Yeah, so Kunal sent me some language this morning, and I inserted that. You can see it in the weird font. So that helps. Just talking about the 9% of the population has large errors associated with it, and I hope I synthesized that correctly, Kunal. If anyone had something they wanted to edit about that, because this was kind of a late addition and I may not have appropriately deciphered it. Please raise your hand if you do, but everybody is, looks like they're good with it. Everybody's good with that? That's good. I don't see any raised hands. Okay. At the end of this, we're going to vote, and we'll have you raise your hand, so then we'll know for sure you were able to, which is important.
Hi, Allison and Sean. I believe John Chaika has his hand raised.
I'm sorry, what?
I believe John has his hand raised.
Oh, John has his hand raised. Oh, okay, great. John, thank you so much, Anna.
Yes.
Yes, John.
I just wanted to point out, I think there's a word or two missing in that sentence you added from Kunal.
Okay.
Real thing, like maybe a the in front of 9%. I'm not sure if that's what was intended.
Okay, do you see that? Very good, Helen. You're in the right spot. That's it.
So what should I be putting there again?
The word the.
You faded out. I'm sorry.
The.
T-H-E.
That's it. Exactly. Exactly.
And probably come, S after comes, come. The next line.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
That was all.
Okay. Great. Thank you, John. Anybody else? Thank you for looking it over carefully, John. That's extremely important. Is your hand raised again, John, or you were taking it down?
I'm trying to lower it.
I understand. Okay.
Did that work?
Yes, it did. Fantastic. We make a great team. We're doing a great job with this, even despite the technical hurdles. Great. Okay, so it looks like we're good. And just like John, did anybody have anything they need to contribute? Please do raise your hand. Glad that sentence worked pretty well. Okay, so we can scroll down. We just acknowledge the latent class model is under development, and we haven't assessed it. We do talk about, the CVAP tabulations will be protected by differential privacy. And as we've recommended before, we think the privacy loss budget that's given to CVAP data should be a small value. That means it would be highly protected with low accuracy. We don't want a lot of the budget going to this, partly because mostly we really need to protect it very carefully. So that's our recommendation there. And so, yeah, a variety of recommendations about producing ACS-based CVAP estimates, at least for 2020. So researchers could have like a bridge in the data to allow them to do comparisons over time. And, the Bureau could kind of point to the break in the time series and changing methodologies. But, those are always helpful to have. And we thank you all for the technical paper. We know you worked really hard on a CVAP, and know that you'll have additional technical papers going forward. So and journal articles will be helpful too. That we hope we addressed the Census Bureau's questions. We tried to in our recommendations, so when you get a chance to really read through these, you'll see that. And then finally, we just recommend that the Census Bureau respond to public comments that have been made during this meeting today and also the ones made in 2012 when we specified those. So those are our recommendations. So at this point, what we should do is just make sure everybody is in agreement. So hopefully everybody can use the little raise hand feature and raise their hands to let us know that you are in agreement. So if y'all could do that, I see Andrew's got his hand raised. Jessica, John have their hands raised. Juan Pablo, Kunal, Mario. I bet everybody's looking for there we go, Kathy. I know you're looking for the feature. Okay, well, it looks like we've got everybody except Deborah. Have you found the little hands raised? And Rochelle. I know it's it's like if you look at the list of names, it's kind of in the bottom, just below.
I'm working on it. Oh, there, I see it now.
You got it. There you go. Okay, and Deborah got it too. All right. So we have unanimous agreement on the on this. Oh, and then Chris was down there too. Okay, good. Good. Okay. I think that Lou, are you good with this?
I'm fine with it. Thank you very much for asking me.
Absolutely. Very good. Thank you for being with us today. Excellent. Okay. I think we have unanimous agreement, and this wraps up our presentation today.
That it, Allison? Everything?
That's it.
Tommy Wright. Allison, I want to say to you that I have a feeling that in the very near future, when someone Googles leadership, there's going to be a picture of you there.
Aw.
Yeah, a terrific job. We're ending early, and is there anything else to be considered at this meeting? Anything else? Anyone?
Hi, this is Shauna Banks. I noticed that Jeff Lauer has his hand raised, Allison.
Okay.
Yep, I see. Oh, he took it down.
Thank you for the interruption.
Yeah, no, that's good.
Okay.
I appreciate that.
Well, I should acknowledge, in addition to thanking everyone, please note that the next meeting is tentatively scheduled for March 18th and 19th, 2021. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a good afternoon.
All right. Have a great afternoon, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for your participation in today's conference. Please disconnect at this time.